Hello everyone, I'm Jeffrey Tan, the creator of Open Business. Welcome to the first weekend of the Singapore Heritage Festival. Held over 3 weekends, this festival, you, the audience, can look forward to lots of fun and interactive activities online. That's right, this year's festival is a virtual festival. There will be 3 weekends, so the focus this weekend is on Tanjong Pagar, and this is where I am now at T Chapter at Tanjong Pagar. Next weekend's focus is on Pasir Ris, and the final weekend is on Kallang. Today, what you're about to see is the second of this program called Open Business. This is a program where the hosts will share their stories of what it means to be a Singapore brand. And if you've missed our first episode yesterday, you can still get online to the heritagefestival.sg Facebook and watch that. I've got 2 guests with me, and they are Mr Tay and Mr Fan Lee from T Chapter to share their stories. And please don't go away, because after the film, you can also interact with us and ask questions or share your reflections. And how do you do that? You can just add on to the Facebook comment. That's right, only on the Singapore Heritage Festival's Facebook comments, and you can ask us questions. So if you're ready, enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Open Business at T Chapter. My name is Jeffrey, the co-creator of this program. We're proud to be part of the Singapore Heritage Festival organized by the National Heritage Board. Come, join me.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tay Wei Hua. I'm the Assistant Digital Marketing Manager at T Chapters. Welcome to T Chapters. To friends who have supported us over the year, thank you for your support. To people who are new to T Chapter, welcome. Today, Fan and I will share a little bit of our journey at T Chapters. T Chapters opens its door on the 1st of October 1989. We have been in operation for the past 31 years. We are proud to say that we are one of the largest and oldest tea houses in Singapore. The retail shop that you see now isn't what it used to be like 3 years ago. Please follow me. This is a compressed tea or cha ping. For our 28th anniversary, we specially invited an artist to draw the retail shop as it is. Behind this wooden display shelf, it used to be an artway where a customer can actually walk in from shop number unit 11 to shop unit number 9. So, how did I start in this tea business? In 1994, I visited my first tea house called Cha Xiang. It's on the 2nd story of the shop houses at Sego Lane. When I first stepped inside, the feeling was indestructible. It was a combination of deep appreciation of Chinese culture with tea. And not knowing what to do after my national service, I chanced upon a recruitment ad by T Chapters, and the fond memory of the tea house came back into my mind, so I decided to give it a try. Despite the high turnover in the F&B line, I have been on and off with T Chapter for the past 20 over years. And I even remember I celebrated my 21st birthday at T Chapters. When I'm in between jobs, I always come back to T Chapter to work temporarily, as it's a heaven for me. Okay, enough about me. Let's move on to the most eye-catching item in the retail shop. This giant teapot is actually a functional teapot which we can use to make tea. However, it requires at least 8 strong men to move the teapot around. Despite the changes over the year in the retail shop, the giant teapot is one of the few things which follow us through the years. Let's move on to the 2nd floor of the tea house.
Welcome to the 2nd level. I'm Fan Lee, the Executive Director of T Chapter. Let me show you different types of sittings that we have over here. So over here, we have the Korean style sitting, and follow me, I shall show you the Chinese one. Okay, so over here we have the Chinese style sittings with the tables and chairs. As for this building that we are currently at is unit number 9, is the first conserved building in the Tanjong Pagar district. It is special because of its rich architectural design and histories, and this serves as a very special synergy for T chapter that we have resided here for 31 years because of the cultural and traditional side of things. So for this building itself, it was named as the designated unit for a special visit when Queen Elizabeth II came over at 1989. So she sat exactly at this table, and this is a picture of her drinking tea 31 years ago. So over here, this is Imperial Golden Cassia. This is the tea that we serve Queen Elizabeth II. It's a light fermented oolong tea with an osmanthus aroma. Okay, so now I shall pass it to my colleague to tell you something that actually pairs well with tea.
Hi, I still remember the first task I was assigned to do when I start working at the tea house was to assist in the preparation of the tea eggs. Let me share with you how we prepare the tea eggs. First of all, we have to take the egg from the tea tray and then wash it individually under the running water. After that, we'll put the egg back into the pot and then hard boil it. Once the egg becomes hard boiled, we'll take out the egg again and then use a porcelain spoon to crack the shell of the egg individually. After which, we'll put the egg back into the pot, and then after that, we'll put in stuff like oolong tea, soya sauce, and Chinese spices to cook for a minimum of 8 hours before it's being served. Eating the tea egg looked easy, but actually a lot of hard work actually went into the preparation of the tea egg to make it delicious and nice. Let's move to the third floor of the tea house.
Welcome to the third level of tea chapter. This is the Japanese style sitting. So now let me brew some tea for you. Okay, so this is the traditional way to brew tea. So first of all, we have to pour the hot water into the empty teapot. So this is to warm the tea sets. So now I'll pour it into the Justice cup and later on to the rest of the cups. Okay, so now I'll finally pour in the tea leaves. And pour in hot water. So for this first pot, you don't actually drink it. It's actually used to wash the tea leaves and to awaken the tea leaves. So in Mandarin, we call it the Xing Cha. Okay, so now this is the first actual brew. So it will be around 30 seconds. Okay, so while we wait, let me reintroduce myself again. My name is Fun, spelled as F-U-N-D, so it means money. So I don't know why I gotten this name and why my parents gave it to me. I guess they just really wanted me to earn money. Yeah, so with this, a bit about myself. So when I was younger, I used to sell things like Dragon Ball cards and even pirated CDs. Yeah, so this buying and selling spirit probably helped me propagate a passion for business itself. Yeah, so that is a bit about me. So for how Tea Chapter started was 31 years ago. My parents and their SIM classmates really wanted to start a business, but they didn't really know what to do. But being traditional Chinese, so tea became one of the top choices that they can make. So I guess that's how we got here today. So as for myself, when I joined, it was around 8 or 9 years ago. When I joined, I had no experience. I didn't know anything about tea chapter. It was really hard for me to start. And I was an information engineering graduate, so it makes it even worse. So it was a very difficult journey. So some of the problems that I faced then, I still do face now. One of the most difficult problems, I would say, would deal with the human resources part of things. So how to actually communicate with them well and plan things well with them, so or keep them aligned with the whole organization and understanding the missions and visions and all these things to get them working together. So amidst these challenges, I do want to bring in some new ideas to the plate. So some of the things that I like to do is actually to play Weiqi. So as you can see here, there's a Weiqi board. So I used to play a bit, even in Japan. So I'm trying to fuse playing Weiqi and the appreciation of tea itself together. So with this, I've contacted Singapore Weiqi Association, and we have worked together for a period of time. So that's one. The second thing we're trying to do is actually e-commerce, so bringing the convenience to our consumers, as well as gaining greater exposure through the internet. However, with all these ideas, it's simply not enough in the Singapore environment. It's pretty hard, as drinking tea is not trendy and hip, unlike the rest of the things in the precinct, which is like cafes, Japanese, Korean restaurants, where you can see tons of people flooding to. So that is one. Another thing that we face is actually the construction of Maxwell MRT station. So that is been there for 5 years. So they actually demolished a very big car park there, and resulting in the loss of parking space and a lot more inconvenience for our customers to visit our current place itself. So yeah, that is some of the problems. Okay, so with regards to the current situation of tea chapter, actually we are trying our best to invoke and advocate more for tea culture and tea appreciation, so amongst the youth, and we are really trying to stand in the front line to try to do this. So some of the things we do includes conducting classes for primary school students, secondary school students, and we try to align them with all the different festival celebrations there are. So please do come back and try our tea appreciation as well as our tea eggs.
We hope that you'll come back to enjoy the ambience along or with your friends.
Tea chapter always welcomes you.
Thank you for staying with us. We hope you've enjoyed listening to their sharing. And this is the moment where you can ask questions to Mr. Fan and Mr. Tay. So beside me is Mr. Fan and Mr. Tay. While we're waiting for our friends to ask their questions or to share their reflections, maybe let me have a quick chat with them. Let's start with Mr. Fan. How was your experience creating this open business?
This experience was a special one. I have not really been in front of a camera, and I still have a bit of jitters till now.
Okay, don't worry, you're doing very, very well.
Thank you.
Mr. Tay, how was it for you?
Okay, this is my first live show, so it's really a very eye experience for me. And I really know that it's not easy to remember all the lines that we have said just now.
But the lines all came from you guys, yeah? We spent about 5 rehearsals, yeah? Over the last 4 or 5 months. While we're waiting for the questions, maybe I can ask a little bit about tea chapter, yeah? Maybe I'll ask Mr. Tay this time. Mr. Tay, what are the different types of tea you have here at tea chapter?
Basically, we have about 5 types of tea. the green tea, white tea, oolong tea, red tea, black tea, and floral tea.
Okay, great. And other than tea, what else can they, can you do? Do you just drink tea and eat tea eggs? Let's find out from Mr. Fan. What else do you all have on your menu?
Okay, so some of the things that we have on our menu include some tea jellies, which we created from pu'er or even like lychee tea.
Oh,
yeah.
So
there's also some assortments of tea cookies, so where you can pair well with the tea itself.
I see. And there's a question from one of our friends, why is tea chapter called tea chapter? So this one must ask the boss. Okay.
Okay, so tea chapter wasn't started by me, but why the name chapter came about is because they wanted to do a lot of different chapters. So yeah.
So this is chapter 1.
Yes.
Okay, so on that note of tea, there's another question. How many blends of tea does tea chapter serve? I think we've sort of answered that question, right, just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, we've answered that question. So if you have any other questions, this is the time. You can also encourage your friends to tune in. It's Singapore heritagefestival.sg. Yeah? Okay, while we are still waiting, heritagefestival.sg. Yeah? Any other questions? Anything you'd like to share with our friends? Okay, maybe the question of, it's been quite a tough few months, right? What's your recovery strategy? Any recovery strategies that you guys are thinking about? Yeah.
Maybe from me?
Yeah, from you.
I guess we need to increase our exposure and try to appeal more to the masses, so for them to come over.
Nice. And the idea of appealing to the masses, I think the next question from Luke is probably good for Mr. Tay, which is, what kinds of tea are suitable for cold brew? Because they see this boiling, not all tea are hot, right?
Okay, basically I will recommend our jasmine pearl, which is a mixture of jasmine flower with green tea. So what you can do is, after you make the tea, you can actually put it in the fridge and cool it overnight or for a few hours before serving it. Okay.
So I guess I have a cheeky question for Fan. So what about, bubble tea? Is that considered tea in tea chapter's definition of tea? Cheeky question.
Okay, so for myself, it's definitely a type of tea. But for us, I think we are more of the cultural and heritage side of things.
Okay. So your tea have no...
no sugar, no milk.
Okay.
Yeah, no pearls.
Okay. So any funny memories of work? Because both of you have been here for a long time, right? Any funny stories or, movable? Yeah.
Actually, one of my memories of tea chapter is whenever we have children here, school students, be it those from kindergarten all the way to JC. So, wherever they are here, we feel that we are actually imparting Chinese culture and even of tea making to them. And we are glad that they always learn something and bring it back with them. And this may be one of their memory of a tea house in Singapore.
Okay. So in the general public, right, if I have some overseas guests and I want them to experience, do you all do that kind of a special tea appreciation sessions?
Okay, basically we have two types of tea appreciation package. One is where we actually, you just have to book the package and we have a tea master to sit down with you.
Wow.
And you can try 3 types of tea.
Okay.
And after having the tea talk and then the hands-on of making the tea, you can actually have our tea egg and tea cookie. The other package, you can try even more type of tea, which is about 6 types of tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, some people drink tea to relax, right? But you guys are in the tea business. So, what do you do to relax, Mr. Fan?
For myself,
yeah.
Okay, so I do play some basketball and stuff.
Okay, so you're quite an active person.
I hope so.
Okay, then Mr. Tay, what do you do to relax?
For me, I actually like to be in this tea house when it's not open for business yet. The whole place is very quiet and serene,
Okay.
and it's actually helped me to relax before I start the day work,
Okay.
or even after the end of the day, yeah, when the tea house is closed.
Okay. You know, there might be friends who are watching and still not convinced about tea drinking. Yeah. So, you know, can you share, you know, some benefits of slow brew, you know, tea drinking? Maybe we start with Mr. Fan first.
Yeah, so for me, tea drinking is a bit like mindfulness. So the whole process of brewing it is actually like communicating with yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so it takes the time to slow you, especially in Singapore when everything is very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, that is the special part of tea brew.
And must you drink tea with someone romantic or can be by yourself? Can you come to tea chapter by yourself?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe we ask Mr. Tay, right? There's a question about Japanese tea ceremony and, you know, what are the similarities and differences?
Okay, for Japanese tea ceremony, they are very emphasized on the time taken and actually the steps in doing the tea.
Are there more steps in the Japanese?
Yes, in the Japanese, there's more steps, and every step they will actually follow through.
Yeah.
While in Chinese tea ceremony, it's a very free for all, so you can actually do your own style.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's no right and wrong in Chinese tea making. Yeah.
So with all this tea, right, and you have 5, 6 different types, Mr. Fan, do you know like where do the tea come from? Is it all from one place or?
Generically, we import them from China and Taiwan.
Okay.
So all the famous places there lah. So the Fujian side, the Wuyishan, Wuyi Mountains, and Taiwan, of course, from their mountains as well, the Taichung area.
Okay. And maybe we ask Mr. Tay, right? Can people order the tea online through you guys?
Yes, you can actually order tea online through us, through our website, and we will try to deliver them within 3 working days.
Okay. And for friends who want to have an unusual birthday party, do you all do that kind of things, Mr. Fan? I see you laughing.
We can accommodate, but of course, we are still a tea house, so we want to advocate the serenity and what. So, if the birthday party is not too rowdy, then sure, why not?
Okay. And I see downstairs there were some games.
Yeah.
Some games for people, so they can play Chinese chess, Wei Qi, 5 stones, is it, or what?
More traditional types of games.
Okay.
We also allow if people bring some of their games here, but at the end of the day, the rowdiness is the consideration factor.
Okay, so they must do cultured, civilized things like Chinese calligraphy, is it?
Not exactly, because like tea drinking, like Wei Hua said just now, is more of a casual type in terms of Chinese style. So, but nonetheless, you know, this serenity is something that we should try to preserve as much as possible.
Okay. And another curious question, you know, are there like non-Chinese who come and visit?
Yes, actually, beside locals, we have those tourists from all over the world, be it Japanese or be it from America or from Africa. So whenever they look at their guidebook, they saw us, they would, and if they really like tea, they will come to the tea house to experience what it's like having tea in a Singapore environment.
So I'm sure you work with a lot of like tour agencies and kind of listings, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So anything else you'd like to share with our friends who are watching about Tea Chapter?
Okay, for tea itself, I think in Singapore, right, because everybody drink it in the restaurants, so they felt it like it's a very casual thing and just, how to say, it's just very normal. But in a sense, I hope that everyone that's watching right now, give it a chance, come down and experience how to brew tea the proper way.
Yeah. And at Tea Chapter, there are different types of sitting, as we saw earlier. So, you know, you don't just have to sit on the floor if you're not comfortable or kneel, like what Mr. Fan is doing. Yeah, you can opt for the Chinese seats, right, where you can sit on the proper chair, or the Korean seats where you can dangle your feet slightly lower, right? Kind of sitting. So not to worry, not everyone needs to sit cross-legged like us. Any other things? Our friends, anybody else would like to ask questions? If not, we will wrap up. So thank you, Mr. Fan, and thank you, Mr. Tay.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
And thank you, friends, for tuning in to Open Business at T Chapter. To uncover more stories about Singapore's history and heritage, please visit the heritagefestival.sg. So join us at the festival. It still runs for 3 weekends. Yeah, this weekend, next weekend, and the following weekend till early July. See you!